Aki. Honorable members, let us pray. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and thy good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honorable members, we will take item 3, a message from His Excellency the President. I have received on your behalf a message from the Office of the President dated 9th January 2025. And it reads, Right Honorable Speaker, nomination of ministers for parliamentary approval. in accordance with Article 78(1) of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, 1992, I hereby, on behalf of His Excellency John Mahama, submit for consideration and approval of Parliament the following nominees for ministerial appointments. 1. Dr. Kesil Otuba Forson, MP, Minister Designate, Ministry of Finance. 2. John Abdullahi Jinapo, MP, Minister Designate, Ministry of Energy. 3. Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayine, MP, Minister Designate, Attorney General and Ministry of Justice. The nominees' credentials and records of service demonstrate their competences to support the government's agenda and serve the people of Ghana effectively, vitae, and supporting documents for vetting. I trust that Parliament will expedite the approval process in accordance with constitutional requirements. Signed, Callistus Mahama, PhD, Secretary to the President. Honorable members, I will accordingly refer the said nominees to the appointment committee for consideration and report to the House. It is so referred. Yes, the minority chief whip.
Speaker, you referred to me as majority whip.
No.
I think it's prophetic, Speaker. It is prophetic. And it will surely happen. Speaker, let me, on the account of, Speaker, if you may indulge me just a second.
Actually, I thought you were going to be more ambitious than that. You want to continue to be minority chief whip, majority chief whip, minority chief whip.
Speaker,
You should go up. You should go up.
Speaker, that is a good counsel, but my future is in the hands of God. Speaker, if you may indulge me just a second on the account of the communication from the outfit of His Excellency the President. I simply want to, I see my good friend, Dr. Ayeni. In fact, he walked in, I don't know if it was a divine coincidence, but when he walked in, that was when his name was mentioned. I want to commend him highly. All of us are aware of his credibility and his composure in this house and maturity shown over the years. The Honorable Majority Leader's name has come up strongly. We also commend him and the Honorable John for the Energy Ministry. Let me remind His Excellency the President that this is 3 out of 60, so we have 57 outstanding. And Speaker, when you said there is a correspondence, a message from the presidency, suddenly the majority side was dead silence. And I saw people praying. I saw my good friend, Honorable Ahmed, praying. I mean, he suddenly went into meditation. I can only wish you well. We can only wish you well. But however, the president has made it abundantly clear that he will not go beyond 60. So, at one breath, Honorable Nogbe, are you going to be amongst the 60? Speaker, on a more serious note, I want to commend your good self and leadership for being proactive when we took the decision to put together the selection committee and the appointment committee and the business committee in anticipation of these nominees coming. We on the minority side will be ready for you at the appointment committee. We want to caution your nominees to come prepared. It's not going to be business as usual. Come prepared. I hope you'll be prepared when you appear before the appointment committee. Because on a more serious note, I want to commend the 2 nominees and the names that have come up and wish them well in their next world. So thank you for indulging me. I'm grateful.
Honorable members, first Deputy Speaker to take the chair. Yes, Honorable Samson Ahi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to commend the minority chief whip for even before the appointment committee sits, he has already approved the nominees by His Excellency by commending the 3 nominees. I pray that you continue on this tangent so that you fast track the appointment process so that the president will get the needed minister to support him. So thank you very much for giving prior approval even before the appointment committee sits. Thank you very much.
It's green. Honorable members, we now move to item 5, correction of votes and proceedings and official report. We will start with the votes and proceedings of Wednesday, 8th January 2025, page 1. Page 1, yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, based on the information and the counsel you gave yesterday after MP for Tamale Central, Honorable Mutala, made his contribution that we were having our first sitting of the 9th Parliament yesterday. And if we pick these votes and proceedings, it's also indicating that minutes of the second sitting of the first meeting of Parliament. You indicated what happened yesterday was the first sitting, and what happened on Tuesday was actually the first meeting. So if we can correct the caption for the votes and proceedings to read minutes of the first sitting of the first meeting of Parliament. That's maybe. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member, we've taken note of that. I simply use the language of the Constitution and our standing orders. The language used is when Parliament first meets. And then this one is referred to as the first sitting. So that was the language I referred to, and I think table office kindly take note of that.
Statement. No, you don't have any statement.
No, he said he has admitted a statement.
Okay, then let me.
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, we can now continue with the correction of votes and proceedings. Any more correction on page 1? Page 2.
Speaker.
Yes. Honorable member, you have the floor.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I'm trying to understand the way we right honorable, and all the abbreviations that we write in our minutes. It might be a convention that we don't put full stops or dots after the abbreviations. So honorable, we don't put any full stop or dot. right? We don't put any full stop or dot. If that is the case, if that is the convention, then it should run across. But then you get to other places, we have these dots or full stops. So we need to understand which is which. Thank you.
Well, honorable members, these are time-tested procedures. So if you notice some inconsistency, then you can approach the clerk and table and point it out. Honorable Boa.
Honorable Speaker, congratulations once again. I am to communicate to you from your friends that you sat with for all these years, and they want me to assure you of their support, but to let you know that because you've been with them for a long time, you will be catching their eye, they will be catching your eye anytime they are up. So remember them where you are now. Congrats.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Leader. Now, Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I rise on this occasion to also congratulate you. We didn't get the opportunity on this side to congratulate you on your elevation. Clearly, patience and industry has taken you where you are. Well placed in the east of this chamber did not come by chance. And I say so for the young ones whose destiny they may think has delayed. Sometimes we don't get it when we expect it. You are my tribesman from the same village, and it makes me proud. It makes me proud that my own brother, who has patiently walked the journey of politics, has been elevated by his colleagues to be our primus on matters of parliamentary practice. Mr. Speaker, having said that, let me add my voice to my respected colleague, the Honorable Anodompre of Nsawoma Adwejiri, who is also the Chief Whip for our side, in commending our friends, congratulating Dr. Kisil Atuba-Forson on his nomination to that enviable position as Finance Minister. Dr. Dominic Ayeni of the Academia Stock has also been elevated, having previously served as a deputy minister for that enclave he's going back into. And my own respected colleague, John Jinapo, he performed creditably whilst in minority. He held our feet to the fire, and he gave us heavy punches. So, Mr. Speaker, it's quite obvious that he's earned it. And again, I just also would want to add to Dr. Forson's credentials, and also to the young ones. On Tuesday, whilst we were on the days, he made a comment, and I would want, without his leave, put it out, that some 16 years ago, he was a backbencher, and today, he's a leader on his side. To the young ones, again and again, from this side and behind me, your day will come. He was a young man who could not be recognized, and he was just behind. After patience and industry, and loyalty to a cause has put him there. and you should emulate his hard work. So if you don't get nominated, don't be disappointed. On a very serious note, wherever you are placed, do the best you can. And one day, it will get to your turn. Mr. Speaker, having made those important points, let me also express some few observations. One, in the 8th Parliament, under President Akufo-Addo, Right Honorable Speaker made an observation, very profound, that matters Right Honorable Speaker observed that communications to the House must first be known to the House before it gets into the media. This House should not be a secondary recipient of that which is its bona fide. I do not appreciate the fact that a statement will be issued when Parliament has not already received the communication. Parliament should be the first to receive the communication before it gets out into the media. And that was the position taken by Right Honorable Speaker. So I would want to draw attention of the executive to this matter, especially when the acting spokesperson of the executive is one of our own, my own respected colleague, Felix Sofozukwate, very, very resilient guy. He doesn't fall easily. He knows his stuff, and he knows what he's about when he's doing his politics. I respect him for that. Mr. Speaker, the second observation is the fact that the second observation is the fact that when the names were read out by Mr. Speaker, he read out only 3 names. The finance minister designate, the energy minister designate, and the attorney general and minister of justice designate. Mr. Speaker, this appointment is unacceptable. When are the rest of the ministers? You must be ready. We want to hear Ama Kofi Bua. We want to hear Agric. We want to hear Agric Ministry. Honorable Eriko Poku.
Honorable Leader.
Honorable Eriko Poku.
Honorable Minority
Leader. We want to
Leader.
hear Agric Ministry. We want to hear roads and highways.
Honorable Minority Leader.
We want to hear lands and natural resources.
Honorable
we
Minority
want to hear
Leader.
Education. Mr. Speaker.
I recognize the Deputy
Mr.
Leader
Speaker,
on his feet. Deputy Leader, are you on point of order? Deputy Leader, are you on point
Thank
of
you,
order?
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my brother, my respected Minority Leader, the former Majority Leader, we've been indulging him because we understand this difficult transition. And we believe that we should allow him to basically bring out all the pains of losing. But we want to remind him that his responsibility is to ensure that the business of this House flows. We are working on votes and proceedings, and he's expected to make brief comments if he has to. We are not debating, we are not in periods of statements. And so, my respected colleague, please help us in an orderly manner to do the business of government, because frankly, we are going to ensure that the business of government is executed without constant interruptions, and we expect you to be productive. We expect you to cooperate as we did to ensure that government business is done. For now, we are indulging you because we know the painful transition you are going through. I thank you.
Honourable members, let's proceed with the business at hand. Correction of votes and proceedings. Page 3. Are you on page 3?
Speaker,
Do you want to speak on page 3
Speaker, I
of the votes and proceedings?
The leader has misinformed the...
Honourable members, order. We are proceeding with page 3 of votes and proceedings. Any corrections on page 3? Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 8. Well, page 7.
Thank you very much,
Honorable
Speaker.
Kofi.
So page 7, item 6 should equally also be corrected to read correction of votes and proceedings of the first meeting held on Tuesday instead of first sitting. So, what Mr. Speaker indicated. But Mr. Speaker, item 4 deals with but based on the statement made by the minority leader yesterday about our side, 61 being absent, there's a publication today to that effect, Mr. Speaker. Meanwhile, the record here shows that only 15 members, and out of these 15, 10 are from the minority side. 10 are from the minority side. So that information the minority leader put out yesterday that 61 were absent from this side is false. It has no basis. The evidence here shows that 15 were absent, five only from our side, 10 from the minority side. That's what I just want to state. Thank you.
Honourable member, thank you very much for the corrections. The point well noted. Table office is consequential correction. Any more on page 7?
Yes, Mr.
Honourable Chief Whip.
Speaker, with respect, just to draw your attention, after you give the consequential directives, based on what the Honorable Kofi Adams says, we are at the time the Honorable minority leader raised the matter. That was the situation. 61 of them were not present. Speaker, so the reality, table office can bear us out. The reality is that at the time the matter was raised, 61 of them were not present. So it cannot be the case. Please, check the records. Check the records. And the leader raised it. Before the leader raised it, we did all the checks. Speaker, I contest that. That cannot be right. And probably we should defer this matter to the table office to supply the needed information. But I insist, as at the time the leader raised it, 61 of them were hovering around lobbying for positions.
Honourable Chief Whip. Honourable Chief Whip, this is a house governed by rules. As a matter of fact, the rules and the Constitution in Article 102 is very clear on quorum to commence business. Article 104 and our rules are very clear as to quorum to take decision. At the material moment that the issue was being raised, the issue is we have a quorum to commence business, we have a quorum to take a decision. So, honourable members, this is not a point that we should belabor today. May we continue with the correction of votes and proceedings.
Speaker, with respect to you, it's important we don't mix up the matter. Speaker, you know I respect you, and I'll continue to respect you. We are not talking about quorum. And Speaker, with greatest respect to you, we don't have to mix up the matter. He says, as at the time, what the deputy leader said was not correct. And I'm saying no, it is words against mine. Let the table office prove that. As at the time the matter was raised, 61 of them were absent. And that's a statement of fact.
Chief Whip, you would agree with me that this is not a matter that we should belabor today. That is the point that I'm making. If it were to be a substantive issue you are raising based on quorum, I would have agreed with you. I recognize the former minority leader, Honorable Haruna Idisu.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Yesterday, I had opportunity to raise the issue of the delegation of President Biden of the United States to the investiture of President Mahama. Mr. Speaker, I have combed through the correction of votes and proceedings. Mr. Speaker, yesterday, during votes and proceedings, I drew the House attention to President Joe Biden's delegation to attend the inauguration of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, which delegation included the Honorable Karen Bass, Excellency Virginia Palmer, and others. I know that the Hansard rightly will capture that. But Mr. Speaker, the United States of America cannot be treated as ordinary. As ordinary, no. And therefore, I expected that the full delegation would have been corrected accordingly as I indicated yesterday. I heard the Speaker say that he acted based on information that was available to him. I'm doing this so that we appreciate that votes and proceedings, whatever it is, per our rules, I raise it here as correction of votes and proceedings. It necessarily must reflect as correction of votes and proceedings. So, Mr. Speaker, table, yes, you can rely on Hansard, but for the United States of America, and on the strength of our diplomatic relationship and the strength of their democracy and that relationship, I want the full list of the U.S. delegation captured as corrected yesterday. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Former Leader. Yesterday, the Speaker, based on your submission, directed the table office to do the needful. I will also ask the table office to do the needful and make sure that whatever is supposed to be captured is well captured. Thank you very much. Any more corrections on page 7?
Yes. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Muntala Mohammed.
This is a house of records, and everything that is said here will be captured by the Hansa. The micro-minority chief whip.
Honorable Muntala Mohammed, you are out of order.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, the minority chief whip.
You are out of order. Resume your seat. Page 8.
Mr. Speaker, page 7.
Mr. Speaker, please.
Page 7.
Yes, still
Okay.
on page 7, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Item number 7. On page 7. Mr. Speaker, I was present. I took part in the roll call, but my name is found among the absentees list.
Table office, take note.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, page 7, item 4, paragraph 12. Yesterday, I was just right behind you. We even exchanged some pleasantries. But I've been listed as those who are not in the house. So I think the table office should take notes and, yes.
Table office, he was present. Take note.
Hold me.
I interacted with him yesterday, so table office, take note. and do the necessary corrections. Any more on page 7? All members,
Mr.
page
Speaker.
8.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Team Fojo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On page 7, item number 4, paragraph 13, Honorable Oredu Charles Esiaku was present but has been marked absent for the attention of the table office. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Table office, take note. But honorable members should do well to sign the register. After signing the register, I believe strongly you cannot be marked absent. All those with similar corrections should please see the table office. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 10.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I bring your attention to page 9, point 7, table number 17. We have Honorable Habib, page 7, Honorable Mustafa Yusuf. At the legislative side, we don't see anything on his name. So I want to bring your attention for the correction of that. Thank you.
Well, you want an indication whether a member or not.
Yes.
Table office, take note. Page 10. Yes, Minority Leader.
Speaker, grateful. Mr. Speaker, if you go back, and I apologize for doing that, please. Page 8. Item VI, the spelling of former president's name. His Dankwa has no H. So if that may be corrected.
Well noted.
Thank
Table
you.
office. Page 10. 11. Twelve.
So Speaker, page 12.
Page 12.
With respect, I reference table B under paragraph 10. That is the business committee. Number 14. I realize the name of the honorable member for Efija Secretary East, Honorable Mavis Nkasta Boadu. The form and nature of the name spelled there is inconsistent with what is captured on page 5, 192. Page 5 is Nkasta Boadu Mavis, Nkasta Boadu hyphenated, but on page 12, number 14, on the business committee table, is inconsistent with what is captured on page 5. I'm inclined to believe what is captured on page 5 is the correct spell.
Well, table office, take note and do the reconciliation. Thank you very much, honorable member. Any more on page 12?
Right, Honorable Speaker. Thank you. Paragraph 10, table B, item number 7. My name, Anaba, is not properly spelled. There's an H at the end. It differentiates it from the other Anabas.
I consequentially direct that any member who has a problem with the correction of the name should see table office.
All right, thank you.
Page 13.
Right, Honorable Speaker. If you look at page 12, 10C, selection, committee of selection. If you look at the table, you realize that number 17, Honorable Mustafa Yusuf, membership is missing once again. Thank you.
Honorable members, I further direct that any issue relating to correction of names, please kindly see the table office. page 13, page 14, Minority Whip.
Speaker, if you may, indulge me back to page 11. I try to catch your attention. I think yesterday, at length, we spoke about titles and some directives were given by the Speaker. And I recall the minority leader saying his title or signing is dear to him. On page 11, that error has been caused again. And so if you flip through, I want to draw the table of his attention. That correction should be effected, and then consequentially, it should run through as it should. So we are proceeding further to page 13. The table displayed there, item 18. Speaker, I know ordinarily this shouldn't be the approach, but the clerk will bear me out. At conclave, we engaged the Speaker. Some agreement was reached. The Honorable Kweku Asante Boateng is being replaced with the Honorable Abna Osei Asare. If table office can take notice. I thank you, Speaker.
So table office take note and do the necessary corrections. Page 15. Yes, Honorable Member.
Right Honorable Speaker, I seek your guidance on the use of the word composed and recomposed on page 14. It states to compose the Business and Appointment Committee as well as recompose the Committee of Selection. And I thought all committees were composed yesterday, so I don't know whether the word recomposed will be appropriate. So I just want guidance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member, the leadership of the committee, the leadership has brought the membership of the selection committee. But when they went for the meeting, there were changes. That was how come the word compose and recompose came in. So it is correct. Yes, Honorable Member.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, two important observations, and they have to do with some omissions when it comes to page 7-8, where we're doing the corrections and the...
Honorable Member, you are taking us back to page 7.
It's a general observation, Mr. Speaker, and that runs through the whole document, and I want the table to take notice of that, because it's in furtherance of the point raised by Honorable Haruna Idrisu and also Honorable Anodempre. So I feel stronger that we need to make it and correct it right now. Because yesterday, some two important issues came up. First one was to do with titles of members of parliament. And it was agreed that we should have at least one title recognized and the member make provision for it. And I think that solved a matter on the floor, and the handout or the votes and proceedings to have captured that. The second issue had to do with a point and intervention raised by Honorable Anodempre to the effect that members were mistaken, those who were invited to speak, to congratulate the president with those people who were at the event. So the difference was that the Speaker invited some people to come and congratulate the president. It wasn't everyone who was at the event that was supposed to be captured in our records. And I just think that these two interventions are important that we include them in this paper for the purposes of the records. Thank you.
Honourable Member, in respect of some matters that you have raised, it is settled. Speaker directed that the table office should fish out the correct these issues and place it there. So I assure you that it will be done. Page 15. Yes, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Speaker, I've made an observation and I want to draw your attention to it. In this House, we have rules that we all follow. I have observed that members, particularly the new members from the minority side, will rise and without you recognizing them, will start to speak. I think that they should be cautioned. They should learn slowly. They shouldn't be in a hurry to learn. So you must, the speaker must recognize you before you speak. You just don't get up, put your microphone on, and start talking. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, thank you very much for your observation. But at this stage, I urge upon the House to indulge them. After the orientation, then the rules will be fully applied. So your point well noted. Honourable Member, you are on your feet.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's just a short comment on what my honourable member on the other side raised. Mr. Speaker, the issue had been, we expect Honourable Speaker, of course, to be looking at both sides for him to catch, for us to catch his eye. So no. So it's not just the fault of members on the minority side to just wake up and speak, but we're also trying to, as much as possible, catch the attention of the speaker. So it's just a plea to the honourable speaker that when you look at the side of the majority, remember that there's also a minority side that is looking for your attention. Thank you very much.
Honourable Deputy Leader.
Thank you. I'm very, very impressed with the enthusiasm and the confidence of our new members who are very eager to speak. And that is very, very impressive. We really want you to do that. And in this very beginning, we are encouraging you to do that. That's why we are all encouraging members to allow you to speak, even if you are out of order. But I think that the point that was made is very important. Every time you rise to speak, it must have basis. All the basis is in the standing orders. You must quote the right standing order as the basis to speak. And we want you to understand that that is really very critical. And so you have the opportunity to learn all of that during the orientation. And by the point that was made by the honorable member is very, very important. I don't think it was meant to discourage you or demean anybody, but in the coming weeks, you realize that when you rise to speak, you will be expected to quote the right standing order as the basis to speak. And those are very important. And so I encourage you to speak, but I want you to make sure that as we go forward, you will be grounded in the rules of this House. Thank you.
Honorable members, this House, as a matter of fact, is guided by rules. I indicated clearly that the rules will be applied after orientation of the new members. For instance, if we look at what constitutes votes and proceedings, for the avoidance of doubt, let me read page 10 of our rules. Vote and proceedings means the daily application orders. Order 8. Definition of votes and proceedings. Votes and proceedings means the daily publications of the minute of a sitting of Parliament, comprising the record of the attendance of members and any decision of Parliament for each sitting day. Honourable members, you can all attest to the fact that applying the order, there are a lot of things that we allow today which ought not to be part of issues that we should deliberate upon. But as Honourable Minority Leader, you may now have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, we shall remain friends and brothers till casket. I'm happy, Mr. Speaker. I know that sometimes we all sleep, but it's okay. We are in this together. Mr. Speaker, thank you for those kind words, and in that same spirit, I want to assure my friends who are in government that we know the support we had from you when we were in government. We are not going to obstruct government business. There are fundamental and ideological disagreements. We'll keep friendship, but make our case and keep your feet to the fire without prejudice. And we will do so in utmost respect to all of you in this chamber. Most of you here are our friends. We break bread together. We do positive things together. It's not politics that will divide us. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to assure my colleagues. That said, Mr. Speaker, I'm adding my voice to the statement made by Namit Shamadri. In other words, Leader, it wasn't the case that I was more or less attacking your personality or doing something against you, but I was expressing my opinion. The last of it was on the EPA, the Environmental Protection Bill, where we're trying some, as you know, Mr. Speaker, some chamber engineering. And he came out strongly and expressed an opinion. And I told him that, Doc, at least you could have discussed this with me privately. He acknowledged that, and we settled our matter at the holding room behind us. That is the character Dr. Mafo. Mr. Speaker, but what do we learn from him? Mr. Speaker, a lot of times, parliamentarians create the impression that there's no life after Parliament. And this is where I want to spend a bit of time to make some few points. And particularly to our friends entrants, our colleagues who have just joined us. You may be coming from your different professions. I want to tell you that don't abandon your profession. Way back 2013, when we were here, Right Honorable Do Ajahu encouraged those of us with our professions, particularly those of us who practice in a court, to try and practice. And that we did. I would encourage those of you who are teachers to continue to find space to teach. Those who belong to other professions, explore. And then back again to Parliament. This chamber, the debates, the advocacy on this floor is perhaps about 5%, or let me say less than 10% of our work. Your real advocacy is at the committee level. How you distinguish yourself outside of this floor. And if you get the opportunity to travel on any parliamentary delegation, your duty as a parliamentarian is to make your name. Because Ghana is an example for the world and to the world. So Ghana is an example to the world and for the world. And parliamentarians from Ghana are so respected. So, honorable colleagues, I am urging you, take every advantage of this parliament. Don't be too worried if you don't get the opportunity to clear your throat on the floor. People may be intimidating you. Your majority chief whip, who is very calm these few days, if you see his advocacy in opposition, and Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim, these are strong voices that if you are not careful, you may be intimidated. Or the way they get up and come out strongly, you may say, hey, not for me, how can I make it? Even if you don't get the opportunity, Amen, please know that there is an opportunity for you after Parliament. So hold your career, hold your CVs, and I know that very soon we'll be hearing great names from amongst us. And we wouldn't only be reading tributes, but we'll be celebrating. And colleagues, let us compliment each other. Once upon a time, a respected colleague who is no more with us, Honorable Kennedy Japan, there came a time where we were opposing government policy in this floor. We were then in opposition. The MPP was in minority. We saw him walk into the chamber. We thought he was going to join us to strongly oppose the NDC government. When he took his turn, he said, Mr. Speaker, this is not about NDC or MPP. It's about systems and policies. Mr. Speaker, I rest my case on this note. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minority Leader. Honorable Deputy Whip.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, this being the very first time you've taken the high chair to preside over this House, Mr. Speaker, I want to join my other colleagues to congratulate you on your ascension to that high position. Mr. Speaker, as if by coincidence, anyway, this may be social comparative advantage because your constituency happened to produce a first Deputy Speaker in this House, which paved the way for us to go into by-election and to bring you. And today, you have succeeded your predecessor, not only as MP for that very constituency, but to the high office of a first Deputy Speaker in this august House. Mr. Speaker, based on that, together with my colleagues, we are all commending you. Mr. Speaker, but you have a function. Your predecessor encouraged and advised the minority leader, and he is here. May you continue to encourage him. Mr. Speaker, on the occasion of the statement that was made by the Honorable Minority Chief Whip, Mr. Speaker, I've listened to the various comments by colleagues. And Mr. Speaker, I want to join them to commend Dr. Mafu. In fact, one day I was with him in Geneva, and the Right Honorable Speaker Bagbin called me and said, Ahmed, have you seen Dr. Mafu? He is super. He has made Ghana proud, and I'm going to encourage him. I'm going to support him. So, Mr. Speaker, in any of the international conferences of IPU, Dr. Mafu was supported to be there by the Right Honorable Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, when he is chairing the Climate Committee as chairman, Mr. Speaker, you'll be proud that he's a Ghanaian. So I'm not surprised. He is not there by default. He's not there by coincidence. But I used to talk to him as a whip. I also used to encourage him. He told me, after Parliament, I want to form a climate something. So I'm not surprised today he's there. And Mr. Speaker, the framers of our Constitution were very apt when they said, when they brought Article 103 Clause 5, that the composition of committees of Parliament shall reflect the different shades of opinion. Members must take a cue from this. If you are a lawyer, when we are forming the Judiciary Committee, you hardly find lawyers to apply for that committee. Mr. Speaker, and in the fifth, Mr. Speaker, and this is a house.
Honorable Deputy Whip, Honorable Boma, are you on point of order?
Rightly so, Mr. Speaker.
Order what?
Mr. Speaker, under the inherent powers of the standing orders, Mr. Speaker, it's not entirely right that lawyers do not want to be part of the Judiciary Committee. He knows that the Judiciary Committee is a one-item committee. Mr. Speaker, you know that for sure, that the Judiciary Committee, of which you've been a member, is just a one-item committee. After the budget of the judiciary is approved, that ends it. So what are you there to learn? Thank you.
Honorable members, Honorable Deputy Whip.
I'm coming. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable
Mr. Speaker, I'm a whip. Just to corroborate what he's saying. The truth is that many lawyers in the House don't like to serve on the Judiciary Committee, and that is a fact. We are about to set up committees again. I don't know. Maybe they know the law already or something like that. So they don't like serving on the Judiciary Committee. So we are encouraging them. Mr. Speaker, if you give us the authority, now that we are coming to form the new committees, we will make sure that majority of the lawyers in this House will be on the Judiciary Committee.
Honorable members, by way of raising an objection, he stated that after consideration of the budget of the judiciary, what else? Honorable members, I believe it's the duty of the whip to look at the background of members and decide which committee they should belong. But let me give the floor to Honorable Mahama Ayarga.
Mr. Speaker, it is not true that the lawyers don't want to serve on the Judiciary Committee. I served on the Judiciary Committee for one term of Parliament. I served on the Judiciary Committee for one term of Parliament. But very often the lawyers are not many. Very often the lawyers are not many. So when you do the distribution between subsidiary legislation and then Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, you often don't have many to spare to deal with Judiciary Committee. So it is not the case that the lawyers don't want to serve on the Judiciary Committee. But on a lighter note, lawyers are not judges. Lawyers are not judges. So you can come back on Tuesday. But I didn't discuss that with my colleague, so I know the way he was looking at me, he will say that was not part of the agreement, but I know he will have some comment to make.
Yes, Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I can see the incoming Majority Leader and his deputy conferring. And I've just also heard, those of us in opposition, we know more things than those of you in government. So if you ask me, I can tell you, all of you, where you are going. But you don't know. That is how it is. When I know, Ama Kofi is going to land. Yeah, you are going to land. Are you scared? Nobody will stop it. If destiny has it for you, you will get it. Why are you scared? Kwame Agboja is going to roads and highways. Yeah, we know Ahmed Ibrahim is going to local government. Yes. And a lot of you will remain at the backbench.
Honorable Leader. Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Achampo, Mr. Speaker, he has done so well. Yes. I will be surprised if he's not sent to the Ministry of Finance as deputy. I will be surprised. I will be surprised. And Dr. Pak is definitely going to education as deputy education minister. Mr. Speaker, we know. That's why I know Honorable Ayariga is going to assume the black chair. And his deputy is my good friend, Kweku Rickett. Because, yes, Kweku is going to be the deputy minority leader. And, Mr. Speaker, once again, majority of them will remain at the backbench.
Honorable Minority Leader.
Anyway, Mr. Speaker.
The issue before the House is whether the adjournment should be on the 16th or 21st.
That is so.
With all due respect.
Mr. Speaker, my good friend, Honorable Abuja, he knows the practice of the House. You can't just come to the floor to make an announcement. You know it. You normally engage. Now you see, Agbaja, you see. Mr. Speaker, Agbaja today is begging me. Mr. Speaker, Agbaja is begging. Mr. Speaker, the firm put the incoming chief whip. You see, you are coming. We know you are coming. Mr. Speaker, Kwame is begging me. What he did to me when I was there, Agbaja Panye. Mr. Speaker, time changes. I won't do that to him because I know 2029 I will be there. So, Mr. Speaker, I will be magnanimous. I will oblige him. Though he didn't consult me, I will oblige him.
Honorable Minority Leader, did I hear you say 2039?
No, Mr. Speaker.
I love that.
Mr. Speaker, where you are, you cannot join the debate. Mr. Speaker, I said 2029. I didn't say 39, 29.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, so Kwame has been my good friend. He did many things to me. I will not repeat. You know, to forgive is divine. So even though he did not consult this side of the house, you are begging. Today you are doing this. Mr. Speaker, I know he is anxious for his appointment. He's worked so hard for it. He deserves it. And I will not stand in his way. Mr. Speaker, I oblige him. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you. Since the will of the House is to adjourn it to Tuesday, 21st, we shall do Tuesday, 21st. Honourable members, is 21st not Tuesday? Instead of 16th, instead of Thursday, 16th, the will of the House is that it be adjourned to Tuesday.
Just for emphasis, my respected colleague, Honorable Patrick Yabuama, Member of Parliament for Okaikwe Central, a respected lawyer and a 4-term Member of Parliament of this House. Mr. Speaker, he had earlier submitted that in the spirit of cooperation and the need to assist the government to get into motion as quickly as possible, whilst we adjourn all nominations that would come by way of correspondence be assumed to have been so announced on the floor so that it can be ferried to the appointment committee for us to continue the work on them. Mr. Speaker, if I may invoke Order 3, the incoming majority leader is helping me, and that I take a cue. Mr. Speaker, I will ground my application under Order 3 of the rules of the House, so that we make progress there. Mr. Speaker, for the avoidance of doubt, I would read Order 3, and for the benefit of our young ones, Order 3.1 provides, quote, subject to the provisions of the Constitution, a motion for the suspension of an order or part of an order may be moved without notice with the leave of the House. So basically what I was just trying to put across was that per our rules, when there's communication, and that's why we have it on our order paper, it must be read. On this occasion, we only have one that has been read by Mr. Speaker. Subsequent ones may come whilst this House is not in session. So we're praying that the rule be suspended to allow Mr. Speaker to proceed to refer as though same is regular within the context of our rules. Mr. Speaker, that is the rule of procedure. And the jurisprudence of the House allows us to come under Order 3 to achieve the same effect. So, Mr. Speaker, having said so, I move that the said expected referrals be considered and deemed as having been so done properly at plenary, so that the appointment committee can proceed to do the vetting. I add this to regularize the earlier point made by my respected colleague. If there's so, our House so pleases.
Mr. Speaker,
Thank you.
I second the motion.
Motion moved and seconded. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The Speaker of Parliament will act accordingly. Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, before adjourning, let me use the opportunity to thank the entire House for the confidence reposed in me in electing me as the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament. I promise to work with you very diligently and reliably with your support. I am forever grateful. All my friends, the entire House, will forever be remembered. So, Muntala Mohammed, don't worry. You are in my mind. Roxanne Dafamoko, I'm all for you. Thank you. The House is accordingly adjourned. The House is accordingly adjourned till Tuesday, the 21st day of January 2025.